Thanks for joining us on the news at this time. My name is Esther Chima. Now the news in detail. Nigerian Labour Congress is declaring support for the 29-man caretaker committee put in place by the Abia State Governor Alex Otti, the presidential candidate of the party in 2023, Peter Obi, and party stakeholders last week. This was disclosed by the Deputy President of the NLC Political Commission, Professor Theophilus Ndubako, in an interview with newsmen. He disagreed on the allegation that Obi and Otti failed to carry the NLC along before deciding to set up the committee. According to him, every stakeholder was carried along with the ultimate aim of finding common ground on how best to resolve the crisis bedeviling the party. Motorists and passengers in Umuahia and Abia State are facing significant distress as the price of premium motor spirit (PMS), commonly known as petrol, has surged to 1,250 in Umuahia and 1,300 in Aba. The increase is causing frustration among motorists, business owners, and passengers. The situation deteriorated further when petrol stations affiliated with the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria (IPMAN) adjusted their prices to between 1,200 naira and 1,250 naira. A staff member from one of these stations, identified as Okechukwu, explained that the price hike was due to challenges such as scarcity of the products from suppliers. In response to the rising fuel cost, commercial vehicle operators have increased transport fares. Intra-city tricycle operators who previously charged 150 naira for short distances are now charging between 200 naira and 300 naira in both cities. Business center owners relying on petrol have also raised their charges to keep their operations running. Yoruba community in Abia State has reassured that there is no conflict with the Igbos, condemning the recent Igbo must go slogan that surfaced during the hunger protest in Lagos. Speaking in Umuahia after his re-election for a second term, the President General of the Yoruba United Community Abia State, Okikiade Yusuf, stressed that the ongoing tensions between the two groups are political and unnecessary, urging for such issues to be resolved. He also noted that the Yoruba and Igbo communities live in harmony, and Abia has been a welcoming home for Yoruba people, many of whom live, work, and marry in the state. He assured that the Yoruba community remains committed to maintaining peace and contributing to the well-being of the host communities. Several prominent civil society organizations have expressed concern over the failure of some state governments to commence payment of the 70,000 naira minimum wage, more than a month after it was announced by the federal government. Chairman of Amnesty International Nigeria, Awal Rafasajani, criticized state governments for neglecting the welfare of their workers, especially given the current economic challenges facing the country. He highlighted that most states have yet to implement the new minimum wage, which was due to take effect 2 months ago, and urged them to act swiftly in light of the growing economic pressures on Nigerian workers and citizens. Similarly, the chairman of the Civil Society Network Against Corruption, Suraju Olaruwaju, pointed out that the delay in implementing the minimum wage by some states is more of a matter of unwillingness than a lack of resources. He suggested that many governors prefer to hoard state funds for personal gain rather than using them for governance. Abia State Governor Dr. Alex Otti says the government is committed to clearing the outstanding salary arrears regarding the payment of salary arrears owed to staff of the Abia State University Teaching Hospital, ABSUTH, and Abia Polytechnic. The governor made this known while fielding questions from journalists in Umuahia, but emphasized that the debts were inherited from the previous administration. He noted that while he intends to settle the arrears, it is essential to recognize that his government was not responsible for accumulating them. Otti questioned the fairness of holding his administration accountable for debts incurred by the former government, but stressed that his administration is working to resolve the issue as resources become available. Still on workers' welfare, Abia State Governor Dr. Alex Oti has announced plans to recall non-indigenes who were disengaged from state service over 12 years ago under the administration of former Governor Theodore Orji. The governor, in an interview session, stated that the decision to recall these workers comes after numerous appeals from those affected. He noted that many of the non-indigent workers were sent back to their states of origin without receiving their entitlement. Oti also addressed rumors about potential retrenchment, clarifying that there are no plans for mass layoffs. Instead, he assured that efforts are underway to enhance the state's workforce for greater productivity. Presidency has distanced itself from a yacht seen flying the Nigerian flag in Saint-Tropez, a coastal town in France. A video of the yacht, which displayed the Nigerian flag during a vacation in French town, went viral on social media, sparking reactions from netizens. In response to the video, the senior special assistant to the president, Bola Tinubu, on digital and new media, Otega Ogra, clarified via his X page that the yacht in question belonged to a private individual. Ogra explained that flags used by the president or the armed forces did not feature a coat of arms, stressing that the official Nigerian flag is green, white, green, without any additional symbols. Presidential spokesman Chief Ajuri Ngelale has resigned from his position with immediate effect. According to a statement issued by the presidency on Saturday, Ngelale said he had submitted a memo to the chief of staff to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila, detailing him of his plan to proceed on indefinite leave. The special advisor to President Bola Tinubu on media and publicity also said he has also stepped down as a special presidential envoy on climate action and chairman of the Presidential Steering Committee on Project Evergreen. The statement also claimed that Ngelale stepped down from his roles to deal with medical issues presently affecting his immediate and nuclear family. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has criticized the current administration's plan to raise the value-added tax VAT from 7.5% to 10%, describing the move as a regressive and punitive policy. In a social media post, Atiku expressed concern over the VAT hike, especially in light of the recent increase in the price of petrol by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited. He argued that these decisions would worsen Nigeria's already fragile economy and deepen the cost of living crisis. Atiku accused President Bola Tinubu and his advisors of burdening the poor while ignoring their own excessive expenditures. No fewer than 1,008 soldiers have resigned from the Nigerian Army in the last 4 years. The figure was from media reports of resignations from 2020 to 2024. According to reports, in 2023, the Nigerian Army approved the retirement of no fewer than 59 soldiers. In August this year, 196 soldiers resigned from the Nigerian Army. In 2022, a total of 261 soldiers resigned. In 2021, 127 resigned, and 365 resigned in 2020. The soldiers who resigned had neither reached the retirement age nor completed the mandatory years of service. Nigerian Army says soldiers and personnel are free to resign from service provided they follow the proper procedure outlined in the harmonized terms and conditions of service. Director of Army Public Relations Officer Enyimba made this known in a statement made available to newsmen, while dismissing recent media reports alleging mass resignations of soldiers due to corruption and low morale. He added that services in the Nigerian Army, like in many military institutions around the world, is voluntary, allowing individuals the freedom to resign as long as they adhere to the established procedures. According to him, the Nigerian Army routinely complies and releases the names of personnel who are either voluntarily or mandatorily disengaging, ensuring that their departure is handled professionally and in line with military standards. National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control has sealed a table water factory Clobod Table Water in Delta State for allegedly aiding the production, sale and advertisement of unregistered miracle water under a fake NAFDAC registration number. NAFDAC revealed that the factory was collaborating with a faith-based organization, Christ Mercy Land Deliverance Ministries, led by Prophet Jeremiah Omoto, to produce and distribute the unregistered products. NAFDAC's Director General, Professor Mojishola Adeyeye, confirmed that none of the advertised products, including the so-called miracle water, were registered with the agency. Adeyeye warned the public against being deceived by the faith-based organization, which claimed on social media that each product, including a miracle soap said to cure barrenness, were NAFDAC approved. She added that the organization's misleading claims had led many people to contact NAFDAC for verification. Workers in the nation's telecommunications industry under the aegis of the Private Telecommunications and Communications Senior Staff Association will today begin an indefinite nationwide strike over sack and poor working conditions, among others. Among the employees going on strike include field maintenance engineers, transmission engineers, customer service engineers, fiber engineers, and other critical staff. There are fears that strike could disrupt telecommunication services nationwide if not resolved quickly. The association has pending issues with no fewer than 39 telecom servicing companies, including the sack of 3 of its members by Specific Tools and Technology Limited. The union had earlier given a 7-day strike notice to the affected companies to address its demands or risk indefinite strike. At least 48 people have been killed in the central Nigerian state of Niger after a fuel tanker collided with a lorry carrying passengers and cattle, the country's disaster agency said. The Niger State Emergency Management Agency said the collision happened at about 1:30 p.m. on Sunday and caused an explosion which engulfed both vehicles. Director General of the agency, Abdullahi Baba Ara, said response teams were dispatched to the scene to manage the situation. A number of other vehicles were also caught up in the explosion. Footage taken from the scene shortly after the incident shows the 2 vehicles which have been entirely burnt out, as well as a number of dead cattle. All Progressives Congress in Anambra State has withdrawn from the upcoming local government elections scheduled for 28 September 2024, citing concerns over irregularities. The motion to boycott the election was moved by APC stakeholders during the party's stakeholders meeting held at the state headquarters in Awka on Saturday. The party added that it had decided to take legal action challenging the election process in court. According to the party, the decision followed alleged violations of due process, which they believe undermines the credibility of the poll. You are still watching Enyimba TV News. After the short break, the news continues with the lead story for the day, in addition to business and sports updates. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. Now to the lead story. The Parent Teacher Association of Nigeria, NAPTAN, has commended the federal government for giving clarification on its ban of underage students from gaining admission into the tertiary education institutions. The deputy chairman of NAPTAN, Mr. Adeolu Ogubanjo, made the commendation in an interview. Ogubanjo said the clarification had given a clear picture of the policy and would ease misconceptions. Recall that the Federal Ministry of Education on Friday clarified that the government did not stop students below 18 years from sitting for the West African Senior School Certificate Examination, and National Examination Council (NECO) conducted examinations. The ministry said the government only stopped underage students from seeking or gaining admission into tertiary education institutions. Ogubanjo said NAPTAN was glad that the government had cleared the air on the issue, which he said had caused panic. Ogunbanjo, however, appealed to the federal government to reduce tertiary education institutions' minimum entry age to 16 years. He said that gifted students should be allowed to move faster academically. Fintech companies, including OPay and MoneyPoint, will begin deducting 50 Naira electronic money transfer levy (EMTL) from every inflow of 10,000 Naira and above, starting September 9. The payments platform stated that the charges are in compliance with a directive from the Federal Inland Revenue Services. OPay confirmed that a one-time fee of 50 Naira would be applied to electronic transfer of 10,000 Naira and above for both personal and business accounts. Similarly, MoneyPoint also informed its customers that the 50 Naira levy will be implemented on all inflows of 10,000 Naira and above, effective Monday, September 9, 2024. The enforcement of the electronic money transfer levy by the Nigerian government under the Finance Act 2020 mandates a fixed levy of 50 Naira on electronic receipts or transfers of funds, facilitating the collection of revenue to support the country's fiscal needs. The initiative is targeted at generating revenue from electronic transactions in line with FIRS regulations. And now sports. Nigerian Premier League NPFL resumed weekend with 8 matches across various centers. Sunday's matches produced 4 home wins, 3 away victories, and 2 draws with 18 goals scored. The only game without a goal was the contest between Bender Insurance and Rivers United in Benin. In Umuahia, Remo Stars secured a 2-0 victory over Abia Warriors despite missing their head coach, Daniel Ogumodede, who is on national duty with the Super Eagles. The Sky Blues were clinical. Enyimba FC continued their dominance over Heartland FC with a 3-1 victory in the Oriental Derby. Despite Heartland taking the lead through Lawal Saruju in the 54th minute, the advantage lasted only 11 minutes. Enyimba FC responded with 3 quick goals, with substitute Ifeanyi Hemekwele scoring in the 65th minute. Clinton Jeffeta completed the rout with a brace in the 70th and 73rd minutes. And with that sports story, we wrap up today's edition of the news on Enyimba TV at this time. But before we go, here is a recap of the top stories. Motorists, passengers groan as fuel hits 1,700 in Umuahia and Aba. UTME, NAPTAN applauds federal government for clarifying underage restriction. Presidency denies yacht in France with Nigerian flag. Now that's our package of the news for now. Please join us for more updates in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Click on the notification bell to receive alerts when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching. On behalf of the production crew, my name is Esther Chima. Thank you so much and do have a wonderful day.